Hey guys, thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. I'm so excited to show you how I make my Jamaican oxtails. I guarantee you it's going to be the most exquisite oxtails you've ever tasted in your entire life. It's really simple, really easy, nothing too complicated. I'm just going to use a handful of ingredients, and it's perfect because the holidays are coming up, so you have more than enough time to learn this new recipe and bring it to the family function. If not, what are you going to eat?
I was actually going to buy me a piece of burger from Burger King.
For this recipe, I'm going to be using 3 pounds of oxtail. You want to make sure you have fresh meat, and by the looks of my meat you can tell it's fresh because of the bright red color. Now let me holler at y'all for a second. Please stop putting your meat in the kitchen sink. I don't care how much bleach you use, that shit is nasty.
Excuse me, bitch?
I'm serious. So I instructed my butcher to cut my meat into medium-sized pieces, not too thick and not too thin, because I'm using a Dutch pot and not a pressure cooker. But let's get into my nails. Yes. Anyways, so I use lemon juice to clean my meat and about 2 to 3 cups of water. If you prefer, you can use vinegar. That's also another good way to clean your meat. And what this does is it gets rid of any impurities, any bacteria, and it washes away the blood that we don't need to consume. After cleaning your meat, this is what it's gonna look like.
What in the world is that?
To me, it look like a leprechaun to me.
You're also going to notice maybe 1 or 2 pieces. It's going to look disfigured and like it's falling apart. That's totally fine. It happens. That's what comes with washing and cleaning your meat. So we want to get rid of any excess water because when we use our dry seasonings, we don't want it to be too watery. So I just use paper towel to get rid of that extra water. My absolute favorite and the only seasoning I use is Maggi All Purpose Seasoning and the chicken flavor. And I mix the two together in equal parts because this gives any meat that I cook a really nice flavor and everything is balanced. It's just the perfect mixture. For this recipe, I'm going to be using 3 tablespoons of dry seasoning, and my absolute favorite, which I use on almost all my meats, is the Maggie ginger powder. It's so good. Next, I'm going to be using the Spur Tree Oxtail Seasoning Sauce, and this is a really good sauce to add to your meat because it really brings out the flavor of the meat, and it also has a little spicy kick to it, which is perfect for me because I don't really like spicy foods. I'm going to be using Gravy Master because it gives my meat a really nice brown caramelized color. Tradition is to use browning, but I don't really like the aftertaste that I get from that as well. Next, I'm going to add a stalk of thyme, which gives a really nice herb flavor to your meat. Also, I'm going to use a Scotch bonnet pepper. You can use the whole thing. I personally don't like spicy food, so I'm just going to use half of that. Also, I love the flavor that I get from pimento seeds. This is also another spice that you can use with your soups, with any meat that you cook. It gives it a really nice aroma and flavor. And then you just want to mix everything together. Make sure your meat is well seasoned. Try not to over season your meat. This is why I'm giving directions here because usually we don't use measurements. We use our judgment in the Caribbean. I tried my best to be as accurate as I could measuring the seasoning for this recipe. And for anyone watching this video who works in the medical field, and a teeth my teeth, the people them gloves, as somebody care come give me, okay? So you want to marinate your meat for about 1 to 2 hours, and then I'm gonna preheat a large Dutch pot with about 3 to 4 tablespoons of oil, and we're just gonna dump the meat into the pot and give it a quick stir just to make sure none of the meat is sticking to the bottom of the pot. You're gonna cover the pot and let it cook for about 3 to 5 minutes because it's gonna create its own gravy, so you don't need to add water at this point. And this is what it looks like 5 minutes later. You're just gonna mix it around and make sure all the pieces of meat is covered by whatever gravy it created. And then we're gonna go in and add about maybe 1 to 2 cups of water, just enough just to cover the meat. You don't want to fully cover it, just to the top. And we're just gonna add a Scotch bonnet pepper, let it cook for about 20 to 30 minutes. You're also gonna check in between periodically just to make sure your water is not dried out. So 30 minutes later, I'm gonna go in and add crushed ice, and this is a trick I learned from a friend. And what this does is it takes off about 30 minutes off of your cook time, so your meat will cook a little bit faster using this process. You just wanna let that cook for maybe like an hour or two. Again, periodically check your meat just to make sure the water is not dried out. So once you check your meat and you realize it's almost done, for the last 20 minutes or so, we're gonna add our butter beans, our carrots, and our green seasonings like scallion. I'm gonna add some more thyme. You can also add your onions and bell pepper. I personally don't like to use those. I don't like the aftertaste that I get from the bell pepper. So scallion is a great substitute for onions because I don't know what it does, but it just makes any meat that I cook taste 10 times better. And this is the finished product. Your meat should not be any darker than what you see right now. Any shade darker than this, you pretty much burnt your meat. It could be a little bit darker, but your meat doesn't have to be falling off the bone. As long as it's tender or it melts in your mouth, your meat is all done. I really hope you guys like this video. Again, I'm not a chef. This is just how I cook my meat. It's really simple, it's easy, and I feel like anybody can learn from this and be able to make delicious oxtails for any event. Please be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications because I will be releasing a video every week for the next couple of weeks, and you don't want to miss out the upcoming recipes that I do have for you. So please make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications because I have a bomb recipe for vanilla spice oatmeal that's coming up next and you don't want to miss it. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.